got quite a bit of suction. Good morning, everybody. It is, I think it's like 6:30-ish or something. We're headed to, I believe it's Tyranny. Should be kind of cool. It's not a huge pour. It's only like 25 yards or something. But with a little bit of moisture that we've gotten, it could be kind of nasty getting in there. So we'll see how that goes. Chris is gonna meet us up there to check it out. And then today I have Jacob Wilkinson with me. So he's gonna be doing some filming. Should be kind of neat. I'm not very good at that part, especially when I'm running the remote. So hopefully you guys will get to see some cool stuff that you don't normally get to. We're gonna try to walk you through, because it's kind of a slow day, we're gonna try to walk you through some of the basics of a pump. I use a lot of terminology that is not commonplace or doesn't make sense for a lot of people. So we're gonna try to simplify that a little bit so that as we're walking you through stuff, it's not a bunch of gibberish. So we're trying to do it in English, and should be kind of cool. So I'm excited. It's a beautiful day in Jackson. It is like I said, it's 6:30 and it is probably 60 degrees right now, 55 degrees. So the sun's gonna come out, it's gonna get perfect. Should be cool. So we're going up to, it's on Pratt Road where we're going, so it's a beautiful spot. The Tetons will be open, there's snow on them, sunny. I mean, it should be awesome. So should be kind of a cool day. So tag along. What in the world happened here? We're gonna go get some water really quick, and then we're headed to Tyranny.
So what are we kind of doing right here, Jake?
So right now I'm filling up the water box.
Okay.
This is, so I have leftover water in my tank.
Gotcha.
I drain this every night. So you have these big things called mud cups that run through your cylinders.
Okay.
And so you have concrete on one side of them, water on the other, and the water just keeps them cool.
Yeah.
So as they're running super hard, they don't heat up or anything. And then that keeps them from wearing out. So I just throw a little bit of water in there. I like to do that ahead of time, otherwise I end up hitting my head on stuff. So this is Timberline. This is who's pouring the mud.
Okay.
So this is where we come to get water. It's here yet, which is okay, because I gotta pump up my quick front tire. It's a little bit low. It's at like 35 pounds, so we'll be good for like a year. So the brake, everything on a truck like this runs off air. The brakes, the PTO, all that is, even the differential locks are air controlled. So yeah, so it sits at like 125 PSI all the time.
What's the name of this one?
This pump?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Jacob really likes the reducer. I kind of like that one too. The reducer or the green machine. There's one other one, I can't remember. I kind of like the reducer.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out what to name this truck. So we're gonna do a poll here in a little bit. So a couple possibilities. We're open for suggestions too, but Jacob Hardy likes to call it the reducer, which I like. Another one is the green machine. I like that one too. But whatever you guys can think of, let us know in the comments. Any names that you can come up with. Whoever comes up with the one that we pick, we'll send a t-shirt or something. We'll do something cool. It'll be worth it. So anyway. So these tires are like brand new.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it happened, but
That sucks.
that tear. So yeah, be sideways. Pretty much. Just clip that out. We just pulled up. We're kind of going on like the far side of this little ridge. So we have to wind up that hill. It's kind of nasty to get up there, but then we'll kick over the other side. So we had some technical difficulties. We lost the drone in a tree, so.
Yeah, saving my butt. Did it look okay, or did the arm bust off, or?
Just the wing, or the nose. Well, we just rolled up on the job site and the drone was going, and the guy was just kind of freaking out that he didn't know whose it was. Once he found out, he was okay with it, but. So I'm trying to figure out the best place to get set up. So if you look here, we have all these little column support. Then there's a wall on the far side. So we had to get as close up as we could. So we're gonna set up here, stretch out, make sure we make it all. We're plenty early, so we should have time to do that. And then then especially where the metal's here, it's gonna be kind of goofy to try to go over the top with the Z, but we'll figure it out. So this is also just kind of personal preference. I like to, because my remote's on the left side, I start my left outriggers out, then I come put my right ones out, then I lift my right ones up, then I lift my left ones up, then I get the boom out. And that's kind of a really good sequence, but everybody does it different. So the trouble about these front outriggers, they're not engineered to have weight on them halfway through. So they have to be all the way out or all the way in. So that's a bummer. We'll just put it all the way in. Normally I probably would have been okay with that, except for that wall is really close to half the cab, so I don't want to mess that up. So I'm going to try to get my front half really high off the ground. Well, not really high, but supporting. And then I'm going to leave my back one up a little bit, because when I lift up the other side, it will compensate that a little bit. So I lift like this much. When I lift up the front, it's going to push that back. The nice thing about this setup is it's a little bit sloped, but there's no dunnage that needs put down. I mean, everything's pretty straightforward, honestly. So I'm just lowering this down so he can get a little closer. Volumetric trucks are kind of specific, so you have to sit them right on top of that rubber mesh. So I lower this down so he can get more exact.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
You bet.
If you want to tell us what you're doing, if that's all right, you can just kind of talk through it if you want.
This is an auto mixer, obviously. It's got a hopper that holds the gravel, it's got a hopper that holds the sand, a hopper that holds our powder.
Yeah.
Which comes out right here. And water, obviously, and it all mixes together right here. It comes off the truck. So I can mix out 1 yard or I can mix out 10 yards.
Really?
Yep.
That's pretty cool stuff. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you bet.
So what he's doing right now is kind of cool. See all that rock coming out?
Yeah.
If he would have put that in the hopper, it would probably plug me up. So he's going to run that out so that he has a lot more sand and it runs through the pipes a little better.
Here, you guys can say what's up. We're trying to just kind of grow the business. Yeah. You guys do a really cool job. You know, you build the world that we live in, so we want to share that with the world, right? Yeah. So you guys do, you know, you build everything that we use. So it's just cool work. So we're trying to shed some light on your job.
Aquí estamos transmitiendo en vivo desde Jackson, Wyoming, para toda la gente trabajadora.
So I made it to the outside, and we're going to reach all that no problem. Now the tricky thing is trying to be able to fit it inside these without. So because it's a Z-boom, it doesn't curl like that very well. So it's just kind of pushing it to its limits as far as flexibility goes. Watching out for the metal.
Gotcha.
Also, like if you probably can't see it from where you're at, but you've got 4 sections, right? The first is all the way maxed out backwards. The second still got some room, but the third can't curl in anymore. It's already maxed out that way. So everything I do now has to be with the second and the fourth. And the tricky thing is, if you pour these, so these are called sonotubes, and if you pour them at a really hard angle, it'll knock them over. I mean, grab a hold of that wheelhouse, just not solid. So
yeah.
if you pour it, if you try to push your hose really far, the mud comes at an angle and it'll just knock it over. So that won't work. So we have to have it almost right above the tube. Pueden introducirles a la cámara. ¿Es que sea? Ah, sí.
chico. Vamos a empezar a poner concreto en los sonotubes. Vamos a empezar de ese lado, del lado de la esquina. Después iremos haciéndolo solamente por 2 partes para los tubos. Ya después, ya que esté finalizado todos los tubos, vamos a empezar a echar en las paredes.
Fuerte, así.
Y
La
ahorita,
gente
pues,
quiere ver la cara, güey.
sí, eso sí da.
Papito.
Pero me da pena. Mate, mate, grandón.
What was that?
So we call it a halo. It's just a fancy wire. We just braid a wire, and then when you kink it like that, that way that doesn't drip anything, and we can go up into the next one. So I like jobs like this because they're really technical. You don't really pour that many yards, but you're in tight spaces. I mean, we have to move every 2 tubes, so there's a lot more moving than pumping, and it just is, I don't know, it's a lot more engaging, I think. I enjoy the tricky parts of it. Like it's really technical, so that's not bad, but as far as like danger or risk, it's really not bad unless I wasn't paying attention and hit the metal. But pretty low, I would say. Pretty easy job, at least really straightforward.
Ready?
So we got done with our sonotubes. We just have to pour out this wall, and then we have another one down there. The tricky thing is this metal is right above it, so the boom has to come in like that. So they have to push it a little bit, but it's not too bad. Here, so it fills up all the cracks.
Gracias al Señor.
Because we sucked it out in the bucket, if you look in your hose, I got to chip off some of this, but it's pretty clean, you know?
Yeah.
So it can go right on the top. Got a hard sponge here. It'll get kind of wet. Is turn this vertical. Actually, our handy dandy spud wrench. It's actually unique to steel work. So you see how that just fell a little bit? Now it's way easier to move around. I need to grease it though. I just like to do it vertical like this. So the ball is 5-inch. This hose is 5-inch. This is a 5 to 4-inch reducer. So this has to come off. But the benefit of having it vertical is it comes off just like that, and then I can put it on just the same way. Put in just a touch of water. It shouldn't be much because I'm running a hard sponge. I'll put it on right there, and then run it backwards. Hear that air? Got quite a bit of suction. So that's it moving past, and that's it getting sucked through different joints. We call that the sound of the ocean. Canadian concrete pumper is a guy on YouTube. He's the one that coined that term. And I really like it because he always says we don't ping deck pipes. He always just listens for the ocean here. And as soon as you hear that, that means your ball made it all the way through, drop down that reducer, and you've got air passing it in the swinging 90. So I'm gonna run a soft sponge through now, just because that tends to leave some streaks and stuff. But that's sucking a sponge. This one's a lot softer. So we'll let that soak up some water. This is all kind of procedure that, to be honest with you, the Canadian concrete pumper is a lot better at than I am. So if you look in there, there's quite a bit now. Now we're gonna run this one through. I ran the last one through at full volume. This one's not gonna go through near as fast, because if it does, it'll crinkle it and mud will slide past it. And I'll push it in just a little bit, and then I turn it down. And same thing, I'll just sit here and listen to it. But if you were to be able to put your hand right here, you can feel as soon as that thing starts to move, it'll suck some air back through. Oh, just for kicks, so that you could prove that it was perfect. Remember how dense that sounded before? Hear that? How that's high pitched. Now you know those balls made it all the way down. Slick as it could have, I would say. Can't ask for any better. Didn't have any blowouts. It had the perfect amount of mud. Volumetric trucks make that easy. I'll just put my hose back on the truck. I'll fill it up like this, and we're good to go. The reason we did all that, normally I just suck a bucket, but especially where it's the weekend, if I don't get the perfect ping, I suck a sponge. Just because if I was running the next job and I just blew mud through, it would clear it all out. However, where it's gonna be Saturday, Sunday till Monday that I pour again, that stuff would be hard. So it just is, it takes an extra minute, but it's definitely worth it. So recently, I'm not very good at the tech stuff, but Jacob Wilkinson has been taking care of all the YouTube stuff, and we recently reached 120 subscribers, which is huge, I've been told. So that's really cool. Kind of excited to see it all grow, you know. So thanks for those of you that watch. It means a lot. I hope you guys like what we're putting out. Shout out to the Canadian concrete pumper. He has saved me more than once. On some of those little, so if you're looking for technical stuff, especially if you run a pump or you have more questions about the really technical details, to be honest, he knows a lot more than I do. So go check him out. He's got some really cool videos I like watching, more tutorial style stuff. So anyway, go check him out. But either way, we appreciate you watching. Thanks for the support.